red light's on, we good. That was my first hippie song.
It's a good one.
Let me find it. I want you to read the words and I'll start there so you can see what I'm talking about. And then I got a couple things on my mind. We can do that or we can do something else. That song lasted about 30 minutes.
What's going on with you? Hey, come in and get killed fast. You guys go to the classes and kill.
Yeah, that's gonna be your best bet, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh Lord, what do these people want? Let me see.
Yeah, you got him a song. Huh? He's playing a song that sounds good, too.
Okay. Alright. Now, okay, answered all them folks. Now what am I looking at? Okay. Okay, the words go sideways, lean on in. Sideways are the pathways, buzz, buzz, buzz. Sideways, lean on in. Sideways, avoid the world's ways. Sideways, just lean on in. Sideways, lead out the maze. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sideways, lean on in. Sideways into your next phase. Lean, lean, lean. Lean on in. Lean on in. Lean on in. And that sounds all stoner, I guess. But it's not anything really different than what I try to talk about every time we talk. We get caught in our dialectical this way or that way thing sometimes. The images of our culture is you got problems, face them head on and overcome and become what you're destined to be. You know, we face life that way, or like in the Wizard of Oz story last week, we're running from the witch in the back, and we tend to focus in a limited way on, well, I need to solve this or I need to avoid that, front ways or back ways. And what I'm trying to communicate is that it may not be either. It may be sideways. Something that you've not, that is beyond your intellect, something that is beyond your cogitating. He will make a way where there seems to be no way. And it may not be front ways or back ways, it might be sideways, something that you've not apprehended or even conceived of. But the faith statement is that there is a way, and there always has been a way. And our finding that way is not based on us doing our Christian magic, waiting for God to wave his magic Easter egg over us and sprinkle happy dust so that we can be on the good list and get off the naughty list. That's magic. Okay. Y'all hear me? God doesn't respond to our tricks. Nature, however you want it, the Creator, the way the world is set up, doesn't respond to our tricks. We can't be good enough to manipulate God into solving our problems for us. You know? So many times we do our tricks and we wait on our treat and it don't come. It's because God don't live in Halloween or Easter or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You know, I mean, we're in a season right now that's basically the worship of money and consumerism. And it's driven by fear as much as anything. Fear of a disappointment of a child, or fear of how am I going to pay my bills after I charge up all this crap that we didn't need to start with. You know, about when in October they start the programming in the stores. And you know, it's 90 degrees in Alabama and you're hearing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in a store. And it clicks something and we start feeling the push toward consuming and artificial lights and artificial trees and candles that's supposed to smell like pine trees and pumpkin. You know. And it's just an old celebration of the winter solstice.
It's today.
Is it today?
Yep.
So now the sun has died its final death and now moves toward when it begins to overcome the light again. It's an ancient observation. And now we've associated it with making sacrifices to that God through our money, through our consumering. You know. And we go, if y'all go to church, anybody go to see a Christmas play? And they don't even tell the story right because they got wise men there. So you're not even being taught right in the Christmas play. If you believe in the Bible, that's an abomination. It's false doctrine. If you go that way. And if you say something, last year about this time I made a post about Christmas on my blog thing, and Lord, at the anger I got.
What'd you say?
Basically that Santa Claus, the whole concept of Santa Claus is creepy. And it's somehow gotten, in the Christian world anyway, it's kind of the same thing. If you do your tricks, you get on the nice list. If you do bad things, you get on the naughty list. And that's how we think of God. And He can see you. Whatever you're doing.
Awesome guy.
You know. And now they took it even to another level. They got little elves.
Yeah.
Programming them little cheerings. And my point was that if you get out of that cultural expectation, it seems odd to most folks. It goes from how dare you to, that's weird. You know? And so thus I say, maybe the way is sideways. Something outside of those kinds of cogitations and imaginings. Because, last year seemed like it's like this. You grew your hair out, didn't you, bro?
Me?
No, him. I didn't know who you was to start with. But I think for some, we were talking a little bit about purpose and direction and that kind of thing last week. And it's counterintuitive. The point last week was that if you don't have a direction, move towards your fear. All right? And that's counterintuitive because we don't even consider that. We try to solve our problem, but our problems seem to keep, like in Oz, reappearing in different forms over and over and over and over and over again. And there's a very valid sense in which our problems, those patterns, they're like seeing our reflection in a mirror, and you cannot scratch your nose by doing this. You can wear your fingernail out scratching your nose in the mirror and it ain't never going to help. You can't fix some person or some situation and somehow it's all better. Because the problem ain't in the mirror. The problem ain't in the people in your life. The problem ain't out there. The problem's in here. The ways that we think about ourselves and the world and God and this whole thing. And I don't know what your problem might be. All I know is that our fear can be a signpost and lead us to the place we need to be. The place we avoid many times is the very place we need to head. We saw again in The Wizard of Oz how the way out was not through Oz, the wizard, the answer. The way out of Oz was through the witch's castle. And by doing that, they solved their own problem, even though they didn't realize they had solved it. Another thought I had, and I don't remember where I got this metaphor, but if you have a piece of rope, when we're talking about the flame and stuff, and who indeed we are. If you have a piece of rope that's made out of nylon and here, and then hemp here for you Woody Allen fans, or Woody Harrelson fans. Silk here. What else you make rope out of? Whatever. And if you were to tie that in a knot, and stick your finger in there, as you move this up and down, you can move the knot up and down that rope, but it's nylon here and it's hemp here and it's, the knot is the pattern, not what it's made out of. In a similar way, some of y'all may have been a vegetarian last year. Somebody, or whatever. Yeah. Even if you eat the same thing or whatever, your body is not the same molecular makeup than it was. I think even your bones replace themselves every 7 years. You're the pattern of you that's interacting with matter somehow and creating this thing that's identified as you, but you're not. Like a flame does its thing, But the flame ain't a thing, it's really a process of gases burning and all that stuff. You know, your knot may be this big or that big or whatever, but that's recognized as you. We get confused that we are our consciousness. You know, but consciousness is nothing more really than radar. Because right now, I mean, I'm aware of everything in here, going on in here. But my radar don't pick up anything unless it's new or interesting or, you know, the buzz of the lights, the temperature, all that stuff is registering, but I'm only picking up on, like, you know how a radar does? It'll bleep, boop, and it'll kind of stay there a minute and then go away till the next boop. You're so much more than your radar. But typically we don't, we've invested based on our values and needs, desires, whatever. We programmed our radar to only pick up certain things. But there's so much more about us going on. You know? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And you have the ability, if you want, to begin becoming aware of some of that stuff that's off the radar. You know, the radar picks up sideways and backways. Any thoughts about this so far? What's it make you thinking of?
Who the hell am I?
That's the first question, I guess. You know? I don't know. I'm starting to discover a little bit about who I am. I can write hippie, freaky songs if I want to, apparently. Not freaky, I enjoyed it. That was my favorite song so far. There was a guy that had a scratch thingy in it. And he started doing it, and I said, "Somebody found the funk." And then he went, "Don't funk this, don't funk this." Or he had some kind of little, it was just really cool. And then I started preaching about, "Brothers and sisters, have you found the funk yet? Can I get a witness?" And it was all white folks because they didn't know how to do it. So, you could feel it in your heart and your soul, way down in your bones. It was really fun.
Sound like a good intro.
It was fun. No, it was about 20 minutes in because they were doing. Then they started going. I said sideways, like reggae, and then they changed it all up. And it was fun.
Gotta get that Bluetooth to me.
Were you smoking anything?
It's all natural.
I don't know. That might be fun to do. I don't know. You know, I'm not against that. It's just not something I do necessarily. You know, I'd prefer to be able to do that without that if I can. You know, but I ain't against it. If that's what you want to do. You know, because half of them people in there was probably stoned, I guess. And they're talking about their headspace and all this stuff.
How would you define consciousness?
Consciousness, how would I define it? What I'm paying attention to.
What your eyes can see and what your ears can hear?
Well, that could be part of it. And that's really the lower form.
What we're used to.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's basic animal shit. Consciousness of yourself is where this starts. What are you feeling? What's that pattern of you that keeps repeating? You know? Have you heard me talk before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In general, our society is programmed and motivated by anxiety and fear. And we're not even aware of it. Last week I asked a guy why he was so mad, and he goes, "I ain't mad."
So basically our radar picks up what we're conditioned to pay attention to based on upbringing, what we enjoy, pleasure, drama, fear, ignorance. I mean, whatever makes us click.
And discerning what is that pattern around which I'm clicking, and is that me or not, or am I separate from that or not? And it's not like we have to do a whole lot, because the recognition of some of that stuff changes it on its own.
Basically what you said, what I remember you saying was something along the lines of when you learn to embrace your fear, who you really are is behind all your anxiety and all your fear. It's basically what I remember.
Behind it, how, baby?
What you fear is who you are.
Partly.
Like I'm afraid to speak in public, but if I would step through that, I would discover more of who I am.
Yes. And you're speaking in public right now.
Right.
And by me saying that, there's some reaction happened in your body.
Right.
Right?
My lips are quivered.
You know. Because basically what you did is you threw water on the witch and it melted and it wasn't even there.
Yeah.
It's a program. It's a, and it was no thing. It's like stepping through a spider web. A spider web, you ever been hunting and you walk up on a spider web and you go, eh! But it's nothing. You just,
It's not the web I fear. It's the spider.
Shut up. You can't talk for 2 or 3 weeks because you're full of shit.
I wondered when that was going to happen.
Okay.
So you would need, if we go back to what our radar picks up on, and what, like Michael was talking about, when you step through, face your fears, when you step through what you're afraid of and you do it, or make conscious efforts to face it, you do need someone or something to approve.
You don't need to.
Don't need to.
Because you've already done the thing.
Right,
But it helps when I recognized it.
exactly. If somebody recognizes it, you get pleasure from it.
Yeah.
In other words, you wouldn't, because I know I wouldn't say, well, how did I do, or how did this turn out, or what other people think, If somebody comes.
But you've already accomplished the thing by.
Right.
She killed the witch by just leaving home.
Right.
She
I had to
had,
ask you, did the bucket of water symbolize anything?
I don't know.
Come on,
Bucket
man.
of water.
Drive me crazy.
Bucket of water.
But yeah, I mean, when somebody, you know, I mean, it does feel good when somebody pats you on the back and says, good job. You know, it certainly makes you want to do it again.
And there's a certain resonance or feedback
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I'd have done that song by myself in my bathroom, it wouldn't have been near as fun.
Right. Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, I'd have probably stopped after about a minute. Meh. But that's, I guess, part of being alive in this material world is the resonance and the feedback, and that seems to say this was an okay thing. But it wears off after a minute.
Yeah.
You have to go do something else.
Right.
But like with the lion and, you know, facing your fear and all that, you know, I think there was a great model in that story where they screwed it up horribly. And they got caught after about 15 seconds being in the witch's castle. They suck. But it fixed itself anyway. It worked itself out. I don't think it's important as to figure out how to overcome the witch is just go look at her. Or whatever her is or whatever it is, or you just make a move toward there and it'll feel like the monkeys got us and we're all shamed. But somehow just the act of doing that changes. You know? Because if you've never spoken in public before, and you do, you change this a little bit. And it's not really important how or why, because you won't know for years. But from now on, you can't say you've never spoken in public. You've changed your life already. Right? Mm-hmm. And you didn't have to go out and slay a dragon or climb a mountain or memorize 14 chapters or something. You just opened your mouth and stepped through that place, and the witch went, and the witch always does. You know? You know, we hear Jesus say several times, don't be anxious.
Whatever.
Don't be anxious.
Oh.
Perfect love casts out fear. Most of our behaviors are fear-based, anxiety-based, shame-based. And when we run to the dope, we're running away from all that stuff. On some level or whatever. I mean, it feels good, that's fine too, whatever. You know, you don't have to go through all these calculations of why you do this or that or the other. Well, I heard a guy talk about, well, I drink because it feels good. That's why. You know, it may not have to do with my weird mama. But it might, you know.
Feels good not to feel like yourself sometimes.
Yes, sir.
Lots of times.
But I would suggest, brother, that you are more than you think you are, or that you are aware of. And like, because homie went home, I heard, dream guy. Don't know what that's about, and it may have been fine, I don't know. But part of him that he didn't want to look at was that redneck without a shirt that he hated and loved at the same time. You know? And from what I understood of what he said, his whole life was kind of built around not being him, But it kept collapsing, kept collapsing, kept collapsing. And then he became the stoned-ass redneck quoting scriptures going down the road. And I did that for a long time and found myself angry and depressed and all this other stuff. And now I'm embracing the dick side of me. You know?
There you go. There you go.
I've discovered that my spiritual role in the body of Christ is to be the asshole. Help folks deal with their shit.
Well, that's a category I did not fit.
Well, see? Sideways, baby. You know? And sometimes it burns and sometimes it don't. You know? I don't know. Do you understand, does the idea of looking for the sideways, the ways outside of our typical way of thinking and looking, and leaning into it, for me is a feeling that it's not me taking it head on, because how many of y'all take things head on and it never works? You know, you pull yourself up by your Christian bootstraps one more time, you know. And it falls apart again. There are just, what does radar do? How does it work? Huh?
It's an air and water.
Sorry?
An air and water.
And are you asking or telling?
Either or. It sends out a signal that hits an object that sends back a return.
Yeah.
Okay, and it makes some kind of representation on a screen. And if it's looking for rocks or ships or planes or unicorns or whatever it's set for,
UFOs.
Yeah.
most of what's going on is not registered by the machine. It's only looking for dangerous stuff. You know? And it gets registered as empty space or nothing. You know? And then there may be a sense in which our consciousness works that way. We're set to danger mode, generally. Or interesting mode or something new mode, and most of what goes on we don't even see, even though it's going on. The light has changed since I've driven up here. The sun's trying to peek out, you know, and it makes all that look different. There's a certain fragrance to this trailer. And it ain't y'all's butts, that's good. There have been summers when that was a problem. I mean, there's just so much going on. I mean, as you sit there in wherever you are right now, what's going on inside of your body? What's going on? Where are your thoughts going? Are you in a process of challenging everything I say in your mind to rule it out or in? You know? Are you present? Are you sleepy? Are you whatever? You know? Do you understand? That's a different way. Awareness. That's a different radar. It's a sideways. Because most of what happens out here in our field that we scan is out of our control anyway.
Is there a technique to start picking up other things?
Guess what it is?
Close your eyes.
Breathe still. Just breathe.
It's not complicated. It's no more complicated than, are you a deer hunter?
Yeah.
No? You ever hunt?
Dixie.
You hunt at Winn-Dixie?
Yeah.
Okay. You ever been into a new grocery store and they had it set up different?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me put it this way. The hunting metaphor is better. Or going to a new city. If you go to Chicago or you go to Atlanta or even downtown Birmingham, if you've never been there, the first approach to it, everything seems like it's too big to comprehend. It's just, you know, where's everything? There's all these buildings. You know. And you go to a new place and you learn it one block at a time. You know, if your first task in Birmingham is to go to the Regents building or whatever, you'll figure out how to get there, and then it becomes the landmark. And then from there, this is over here, and this is Lake, what do they call it? South Lake, or whatever it's called, and this is 5 Points, and this is, and you get a map in your head as you go and as you sit and as you look. If you're in the wood, and watching yourself's more like being in a deer stand, though, or if you've been in the military, if you've been a sniper or whatever. Your main job is to sit your ass still and just watch and take notes. And after a while, the outside stuff becomes a part of you. And that's the same as observing yourself. You don't know nothing. Hell, half the time we don't even know we can, or it's an option. Most of our life, we're not taught this. We're not taught to be still. We're taught to do and do and do and do and do and be a good boy and be a this or don't be a that. You know? And we are trained that we are our consciousness. You know? But when you are conscious, who's watching your consciousness? There's somebody observing that. Or something, or some pattern, or there's some discernible you that you can move it this way and that way, and you can go to Atlanta, or you can go to Savannah, or you can go to Clanton, and those same patterns, that same pattern of you will reform itself. Anybody tried to leave a town to get out and start a new life, and you turn around and the same damn people?
Yeah.
Same damn shit?
Yeah.
You know, you just maybe wore different clothes or not or whatever. Different language, depending on their little culture they were at. So you could fit in. And, the Christmas season, even as it's taught traditionally, is about light overcoming the darkness, right? That's why we do our little candles or whatever. We have lights on the Christmas tree. And if you just stay with that instead of Jesus dying on the magic Christmas tree and then coming back to life at Easter and having magic Easter eggs and stuff, because that's all something, I don't know what it is. It has nothing to do with Christianity.
No.
Or it may have to do with Christianity. I doubt it has little to do with the Christ. You know?
When you're using it to sell stuff.
Because corporate Christianity is the business, period. And they've signed up with the government to say certain things, and then the government won't take their money. That's what corporate Christianity is.
How did all that come into, what,
And green.
1800s, 1900s? When did all that come about, the tooth fairy and
Shit, I don't know.
all that? You don't know?
It came into my life in the 60s.
Yeah, mine too.
Everything's marketing. Everything.
Yeah, and what we used to call sorcery or magic is called marketing now.
Yeah.
You know. You know. All you gotta do is make folks afraid and then give them a solution. And because they're not aware of themselves, they'll go, oh, my breath stinks, I need this magic piece of gum. Ding! You know that commercial?
Orbit.
Yeah.
Orbit.
Yeah. Potty mouth.
Yeah, potty mouth. Smell like ass. Ding! No ass. And it's played over and over and over again, over and over and over again. I mean, Fantasia is basically a cartoon representation of how the world works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's conjuring stuff and making these move and change. And the broom, you know, if it had been a conscious broom, he'd say, I ain't dancing for your ass. But no, I'm a broom and I dance. And But if you would the light to come into your darkness, I think that was true. I would encourage you this season, this week, to sit there in your darkness a while, so when the light does come, you'll be there when it does.
True that.
Right? Because I think the light comes into your darkness all the time and is going, where in the hell is he? I'm here, where's he? Oh, he's out there trying to fix himself. I know. Because I don't believe we can fix ourselves. Because I didn't make myself, so I can't fix myself. And what we're focused on fixing so often is this fictional character that we equate with our consciousness and our history. And our fictional character lives in the mirror, and we can't do nothing about it. Hell, we don't even enjoy breathing, and it's one of the sweetest, freest things.
I think I missed the best sermon you taught last time I was here about breathing.
Yeah?
Should have been here.
No, if you're interested now, then it is as it should be, there in fullness of time. Because what I say about it is me yapping. But if there's something in you that is interested to the point that you want to experiment with that, you know, because my little funny shit that I do and my whatever I do is kind of useless if it doesn't move somebody to experiment with who they are.
Or at least considered an option.
Some,
Considered.
you still talking. Y'all, don't let him be your guru, y'all hear me? Because he'll sit around and try to tell everybody what to do.
No, I'm not.
Okay?
I've come to the conclusion I could never match you mentally.
Well, duh. You must be retarded if you even gave that any consideration. So,
See how we talked about him already?
good to see you, boy.
Good to see you too, man.
I know you miss me.
I did. I missed you. You know, a lot of shit makes a lot better sense for me later on. I say shit, but, just in general.
Yeah.
Thinking back, I think I got a lot more out of your sermons thinking back about them than I did while I was present during them.
And that's a principle. I mean, Jesus said, y'all got to let me go so the Spirit will come.
Yeah.
We don't know things in the moment so often. Some of the loudest voices in my head are some of my mentors that have been dead 20 years. I didn't know what they meant when they said it, but I do now.
Yeah.
And there ain't no harm. Because now it's here. Missing my sermon, it may have been a blessing for you. My sermon, that's funny.
But I got a lot out of it afterwards, after the fact.
And I probably get more out of it than y'all do because it's fun. I don't know, baby. I'll recap the breathing for you real quick, and it's not magic or nothing. But it's necessary to begin. Just biologically, you have to have a certain amount of oxygen in your body, or your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up. Right? When there's a sense of oxygen deprivation, your whatever that piece of your brain's called sends a warning signal to you. It creates anxiety. We're not even aware of it. That's how we live. And based on the amount of overt anxiety when you were little in your home, many times that's where our radar signals get set. There's so many people that as children never had the opportunity to just play. There was always some radar going on. When's Daddy getting home? When's Mama getting home? What's going to happen? Always alert because there was some damn shoe getting thrown out of some door and hitting you upside the head. That seemed like random reasons. Or whatever. Or weird Uncle Harold come in there and say, "Get some popsicles for you," or whatever, Whatever all that was. And that set your radar. And that became normal, and this is reality. It's not, but that's how we think. In the simple act, and most of the time, we breathe very shallowly in our chest. And we very seldom take a full, deep, long breath unless we're smoking. It's not the nicotine that relaxes you, it's the breath that relaxes you. Nicotine does the opposite of relaxing anyway. If you want to try it, think about slow, easy, soft. Breathe slow and easy, about 4 seconds in, all the way down in your belly, and feel your lungs and your rib cage expand. And notice that when you let go, there's no work, there's no effort. It does it by itself. It just, and the breath will move in kind of cool, filling up your lungs and your belly. And as it exits your body, it's kind of warm and moist. And as you do that, when they talk about meditation and some forms of it, it's you're making yourself focus on one thing. And you can focus on your breath. You'll start to feel heavy in your chair. It'll feel like your chair's pushing up on you rather than you sitting on it. And it's almost like you're finally sitting inside your body again, and it made you heavier. It's when we're anxious, life seems to happen out here somewhere. Right? Out of control. And we get into conversations and we say stupid stuff, or we go, crap, I wish I'd remembered to say that. Because we're all anxious and our brain ain't working right. Because you knew what to say the whole time, but you were so anxious you couldn't access the creative part of your brain. It's not that you're stupid or slow, you already knew what to say. You just had to calm down long enough to do it, to say it, to do what is natural, to say what is natural, to engage on a natural level or whatever. You know? And that's about it.
Must be why yawns are so addictive.
Can be, I guess. You know? Because everybody's tired. They don't rest. They don't be still. They don't know themselves. They're jerked about by whatever new song comes on, or new TV show, or new commercial, or new what CNN's saying, or what Fox is saying, or, you know, which is all bullshit. You know, they got this crazy narrative about the Russians hacking us and stuff, and they're not even talking about the fucking pedophiles.
Yeah.
They're just distracting everybody. You know? And the knee-jerk social justice people are fighting the KKK. I mean, they're irrelevant. They're not even, you know, as though they're some kind of group. And, you know, it's just round and round, same old bullshit. Because there's, I mean, the information is that there's been pedophile rings all through the government. It's known about, it's not a secret. But nobody talks about it. They talk about Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer while Santa's doing them in the ass.
Through the Catholic Church.
Through the Baptist church.
Yeah.
Through the Pentecostal church. Through the, all of them.
These churches in general.
Through Penn State.
Yeah, Penn State's another one. Through the Republicans. Through the Democrats. Through the, all of it.
United we stand. Are you?
They're bringing in little boys and cocaine on them planes. But anyway. But if I'm not awake and alert, I don't listen. I just go with whatever. You know? I take drugs because I have to rather than I choose to. That's retarded. If you want to take drugs, take drugs. Knock yourself out. But do it because that's what you desire, the deep desire of your heart. Not because you're some punk-ass victim bitch. At least be proud of your drug usage.
I hear you.
You know?
Yeah.
But there may be somebody like that. But generally the folks that come in here are not proud of it. They're ashamed of it. You know?
Society is built all the time.
You beat yourself to hell, boy. And you're still talking. See, that's why you keep coming back, because you can't listen. Just
Gotta stand for something. Follow me tonight.
you have a book of pithy quotes out there you're reading down there? So did you, when I was talking about that, you relaxed, didn't you? Mm-hmm. You know? Jesus said, take my yoke upon you, it is light. That's your yoke, that's his yoke. And the answers, the awareness, the creative change of will happen on its own, the longer you can stay in that place. Because it's not you who fixes you. You got to hang around long enough for them to, turn the bolts. Because then our anxiety would jump out of that into all this other mess.
Running from yourself.
And yourself is fine. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. That's yourself. Not this thing that you think of as yourself. You know? So, y'all hungry?
May I say something else?
Oh, please.
That's what I like about listening to you speak. I figured out also.
What'd you figure
A lot
out?
of people speak, over the years. And you take us, your audience, one way, or your, not audience, your people, one way. And then when you get us leaning and considering these facts, you take us back the other way, but you always leave me back a good neutral.
See?
I'm all right.
We'll go sideways, baby.
And then I come in here this morning and I'll be down
Lean on in.
There you go.
on the sideways.
Got t-shirts.
Merry Xmas. Bye.